Those times when you get up early and you work hard. Those times when you stay up late and you work hard. Those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will.
Hello, beautiful people. That was Kobe Bryant. I love starting Mondays off with the Mamba mindset. If you're not familiar with Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality, you should definitely go check that out. Thanks for including me on your journey today. Heads up, my allergies are ferocious, so hopefully we can get through this entire show. I hope you're feeling happy, healthy, and ready to go. Today on the JRooneyShow, we're going to dive into the food shortages quick. I told you about a month ago that food shortages were coming. Trump's new lawsuit, Zelensky asked the West if we're scared, Musk news, and my German Shepherd Enzo. But first, real quick, I just wanted to touch on the show I posted yesterday. I talked about Ketanji Brown and her not being able to answer what a woman is thing and, that whole thing. Although I'm still not sure how I feel after listening to Brett Weinstein on the Dark Horse podcast, but I realized I may have been hard on her, even though my intentions were not to be hard on her, and I was trying to be really careful. But I started thinking about those that nominated her, those she aligns with, and I started realizing how difficult of a question that was for her given those that she associates with. We all know she knows what a woman is. It would have been nice if she would have just stated the obvious for people like you and I admit, I would have loved if she would have just said an adult human female because I want to see the reaction that we would have got. These are all learning opportunities regardless of what she said. However, she probably did handle this as best as she could. This is what I meant yesterday when I said we should stay patient and keep paying attention to see what happens, keep learning and letting your thoughts evolve. Brett and Heather on the Dark Horse are doctors, they're biologists, and they're evolutionary biologists. If you don't already listen to the Dark Horse podcast, you should definitely think about adding them to your rotation. They are awesome. It's these matters I defer and I look to them for their guidance. So with that said, what else is going on? Food shortages are going on and they're coming to a grocery store near you. Here's our President Biden.
Shortage. Yes, we did. So talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. And because both Russia and Ukraine have been the breadbasket of Europe in terms of wheat, for example. Just give one example.
So President Biden on Thursday warned of global food shortages as a result of the Russian-Ukraine invasion, predicting that the war would upend global wheat supplies. Russia and Ukraine jointly supply about a fourth of the world's wheat exports. Biden said the price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia, it's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country, as in the United States, America. So, my friends and a couple family members listening, this is why I was so hesitant about the sanctions in the first place. I knew it would have repercussions. Everything is globalized now. We all rely on each other, and that's not a bad thing, but when people act out of order like Putin is right now, and these sanctions I don't believe are having the impact on Russia the way we wanted them, I'm not really sure that these sanctions were a good idea. So now people like you and I are literally going to be paying for this. I suppose that might be a good thing for some. Being overweight is a pandemic itself in America, so maybe this encourages some people to eat less. There's never a better time to start making healthier choices than right now, but for others, we're going to feel this in our bank accounts. Trump files a lawsuit against Clinton and Democrats for the Russian claims they made in 2016. To me, this feels like a really long time ago. Former President Donald Trump has filed a sweeping RICO lawsuit against Hillary Clinton, the Democratic National Committee, and others, alleging that They maliciously conspired to weave false narrative that Trump was colluding with a hostile foreign sovereignty, Russia, to try to rig the 2016 election. The defendants, blinded by political ambition, orchestrated a malicious conspiracy to disseminate potentially false information about Donald J. Trump and his campaign, all in the hopes of destroying his life, his political career, and rigging the 2016 election in favor of Hillary Clinton. Trump's lawyers say in this 108-page lawsuit filed in Florida. The lawsuit, which contains debunked claims, seeks a jury trial and compensation for damages. It says Trump, as a result of defendants' actions, has sustained losses of at least $24 million, and it's continuing to occur. It's continuing to go up, as well as the loss of exiting and future business opportunities. The lawsuit comes nearly 3 years after the Mueller report into the Russian interference into the 2016 election. So I've been open about not being a Trump guy, but if the Russian investigation really was a witch hunt, Trump has every right to do this, and he should probably win this. Per Reuters, Zelensky asked the West if we're scared of Russia. A visibly irritated Ukrainian president demanded late on Saturday, March 26, that Western nations give him some tanks, some planes, and a missile defense system. President Zelensky said he wanted only a fraction of the military hardware held in stockpiles and questioned whether NATO was scared of Moscow. He said, "We've only given him 1% of NATO's aircrafts, 1% of NATO's tanks." And he's saying that he didn't ask for any more and that we need to do more. And, he's been waiting for 31 days. So he was asking who's running the Euro-Atlantic community. Is it still Moscow? Because of these threats. So he's basically going off, and it was almost kind of like, to me, an incoherent rambling just rant essentially at our leaders, or at least that's what I could take from this article that I just read back to you. So basically Western nations have so far given Ukraine anti-tanks and anti-aircraft missiles, as well as, some small arms and protective equipment. They haven't offered any like heavy armor or planes or anything like that. So the article does go on to say that on Sunday, March 27th, a Ukrainian Interior Ministry advisor said Russia had started destroying fuel and storage centers, meaning the government would have to disperse stocks of both here in the near future. Appearing to partially confirm this, the Russian Defense Ministry said its missiles had hit a fuel depot, as well as a military repair plant near the western city of Lviv. So sources say Zelensky wants more help, and obviously based on his rant, he's straight up asking us for more help. I would be doing the same thing if I was him. I think we're doing the right thing being cautious and not giving them everything. You have to make difficult decisions when you're at war. Biden's responsible to us, Americans, not Ukraine's, and to an extent NATO. And Ukraine is not part of NATO. I understand people's lives are at stake here, but so are American lives. Another one by Reuters, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, said on Friday it was extending its target date to complete the environmental review of the proposed SpaceX Starship spacecraft and Super Heavy rocket program in Boca Chica, Texas, to April 29th. The FAA's previous target date was March 28th. The FAA noted that completing the environmental review does not guarantee a vehicle operator license will be issued, which must also meet FAA safety guidelines. So there's risk of, financial responsibility and requirements here. The FAA said it is currently reviewing the final programs and is completing a consultation and in coordination with agencies at local, state, and federal levels. SpaceX founder Elon Musk said last month that he was highly confident his new SpaceX Starship, designed for voyages to the moon and to Mars, will reach Earth's orbit for the first time this year. The FAA is deciding whether the planned build out in Texas poses a significant environmental impact to the area, including an adjacent Wildlife Reserve, and it must therefore undergo a far more extensive study before expanding operations at SpaceX rocket production facility and spaceport in Boca Chica can be licensed. So even in worst case scenario in which a full environmental impact statement were required or legal wrangling over this issue threatened to drag this on, Musk said SpaceX has a full backup plan. So of course Musk would have a contingency plan in place. I can't wait to see this thing take off either way, whether it's from Texas or somewhere else. So per the Business Insider, Musk said in a recent interview that the U.S. has very, very ancient leadership and believes that it's a serious issue, and it's a serious issue in many countries. I agree with Elon Musk on this. You may have heard me complain about this many times on the JRooneyShow. Elon Musk basically told someone in an interview that our political leaders should be within 10 to 20 years of the average population age. Once again, he presents us with something I think we've all been thinking about. It's just he's in a position and has the courage to say it. So hopefully more people will start realizing this, and we shouldn't be voting for all these people in their 70s and 80s, or, you know, maybe we shouldn't be voting for people 65 and older. Or maybe we should just take Elon Musk's advice and look at it from, you know, what's the average population age in relation to the age of the candidates running for office. So anyways, yesterday was my German Shepherd's birthday. He's the coolest dog ever. He's seriously beautiful. If you're on Facebook, I have something called the J. Rooney Project. If you're not following me on Facebook on the J. Rooney Project, definitely go check it out. I'm going to post some pictures on there of Enzo, so if you want to see him, he'll be there. But he just turned 2, and he's been through a lot already, multiple procedures. He has EPI and is allergic to everything. He has a super sensitive stomach. He has skin and nail issues as well. He's definitely my very special and very expensive little big guy. He's about 90 pounds. He eats a pound of beef every day. Plus, he gets some of my bacon in the morning and whatever I'm having for dinner. So he's definitely spoiled. To me, you know, it was damn interesting that he didn't really start becoming healthy until I put him on an all beef diet. Those of you who have been following me know how I feel about beef and know how I kept hearing about how good it is for humans and how some people have beat chronic issues with a mostly beef diet. So we tried it and it worked for him. He's super healthy now and the vet can't believe it. I always tell them it took 2 ingredients on top of his $500 a month medication, and that was love and beef. Sometimes all you need is some love and some beef. So maybe also a little Marcus Aurelius too. See things as they are, analyzing into material, cause, and reference. J. Rooney Show.